And Navi, you know, they were first seed coming into this. They were the highest placing team in Rally. They want to be the #1 team in Europe, but they have to prove it regardless of whether it be online competition. You can't use that as an excuse over and over again. At some point, you've got to be better than other teams at both LAN and online.
And here we go then. Game 1 of our grand finals in our first game of the best of 5. Who's going to come out on top in the Battle of Europe? We'll know by the end of these 5 games. Cannot wait to get into it. Dan, let's get it cooking.
Get it cooking indeed, and Acend already are starting to sizzle. They got the opening strategy, they got the rockets, they got all of the good stuff. Snipe Drone will be the last remaining player here, but at least he's been able to get the kill and solidify B still in their possession. Just needs to win this engagement, because if they do lose B, it will allow Navi to get back into the game. But you know, that's what Snipe Drone does. That's what he does best, is he wins those 1v1 engagements, and now the rest of Acend have spawned.
2 strongholds then, already in control of Acend. Early scoring, tipping over towards them as well. Engagement goes down with Jimbo. He's got help though, Jim. Please don't do it to him, Mike. Thank God for that, because I didn't want to have that conversation. Snipe Drone is taken down, thankfully. 2 Foxy though, last man alive for Navi. He's looking to try and convert B, unable to do so, and now respectful the last man alive. They needed to slow down here and wait for each other to spawn up then.
See, now Acend playing in the French manner of approaching strongholds and pushing for that trip cap. Quadrant do it as well. Rather than just holding A and B there, they pushed into C and they forced the spawns to be at Cafe and said, we'll give up A, they'll spawn over towards Cafe, and then we'll collapse and take A back off of them. But it hasn't worked out that way necessarily, because Navi were able to get a couple of players out. Navi now take A and B, and Acend find themselves spawning at Station. So even though they picked up a decent amount of points because of it, they have given up the map ever so slightly to Navi here.
What can Navi do with that control of the map then? We're seeing respectful here. Wary there's a player around him, doesn't know he's behind him though. He's going to get backstabbed there as he just was a victim of time, and as Legend was able to get over towards red before Respectful was able to see them. Jimbo though, or Kimbo, excuse me, with the rocket launcher putting down some serious damage, and Kimbo's on hand to help him out to clear house over towards B. Snipe Drone just playing a little bit more passive back tower, but he's been spotted out. His life has been snuffed out. Now we're seeing a triple cap of Navi. They're showing that they can tussle with the big boys here as well, and anything you can do, we can certainly do just as well. C will convert over after a little bit of time. Now they're going to see the spawns flip over back up towards Cafe and perhaps PD. And that can open up the map for the boys on Acend.
Yeah, Navi just diving in as well and doing what Acend were doing, going for that trip cap and just being aggressive. And I was watching scrims last night. Optic were playing, and I was listening to their communications. They were saying how, you know, street strongholds, sometimes you just have to play it like a Slayer. You have to collapse at times when there's just 2 players remaining at C. You don't always have to just allow the other team to spawn. So you can play that more slow and structured way and say, hey, we'll just let them push out and we'll watch them, we'll force them to be in a chokehold. You can play it the other way, which is what Acend do try and do, is they get aggressive, they push in, they get the kills, they then flip the spawns, they then go over to A, they get aggressive, they get the kills, then they flip the spawns, and you know, it does work. It's certainly not maybe the traditional way that your normal player would play it, and even a lot of the pro players don't play it that way, but some teams do find success with it, and Acend is one of those.
Well, the price that Navi have had to pay for attempting that triple cap was getting a triple cap received of their own. Now they're right back in things here, and they've converted 2 strongholds back in their favor, starting to score and pushing that triple cap once more. But Acend spawning up towards A, and Legend looking to contest this if he can, and indeed he does. Takes down Respectful, gets the reset. There's going to be another triple cap for Acend. Every time Navi push it down, they lose out, and they're paying big.
That's where you've got to be careful as a player, though. If you go to C and you go to push that triple cap because you know the other team have sent several players towards A, you have to win that 1v1 engagement, because if you go down, you're leaving your team at just a straight 3v3 that, you know, they're going to be potentially in a 4 versus 3 when you do die. Shots can be fired elsewhere. So by Respectful going down, it allowed Acend to have the advantage. They regain that trip cap, and even though Respectful's recovered now, got a rocket, got a double kill, there's still so many points that were gathered by the Acend roster during that period.
Respectful got rockets and immediately clocked in and went to work. It means that they now have A and B, although it took them a long time to pick up those strongholds, and ultimately they've gone 2 members, make that 3 members dead as Jimbo's the last man alive. What can Jimmy do? Not a lot, as Snipe Drone gives him and 5 knuckles to the face. That's going to reset things just a little bit. Now Acend starting to take control. See, converted right back the way, and 2 Foxy comes out and tries to fight this player in red. Snipe Drone, though, using that thruster very, very well. And he's looking to put pressure on C, while B is getting contested over towards Arcade.
This is the thing, like, Acend, they've given up B and A there just because Snipe Drone was like, well, I'm going to take C and go for the trip cap, but he's left his team to defend. And it's just, it's one of those things that Acend, you know, even if they come out on top and win this game, I always look at this style of play and I say, could they have won this game easier if they had just played a little bit more of a structured and passive way of strongholds? But at the same time, that's just not how Acend works. That's not how they're wired. They like to play it like a Slayer. They like to be aggressive and push in and try and take advantage of their strengths, which is winning engagements rather than just holding angles.
Certainly easy to think that this might be a lack of discipline on the side of Acend, but in fact, this is just their play style. This is how they like to play. They play a high risk, they play high reward. They're playing big boy numbers here as they're ahead 163 to 108. But Navi have got A and C. That per man setup and the engagement goes down here as Respectful gets that kill. And how big could that be? Sneaky last man alive in tires does manage to pick up Jim on his way out. But the trades are going to finally come through. Sneaky will lose his life and B will be traded out for C.
What I will say is that a playstyle like this, I know full well that Navi are the type of team to be saying, why are they doing this? Why are they pushing me? Why are they challenging here? And that all adds to the frustration and the mind games that come with Halo Infinite and any kind of shooter and FPS in general, to be honest, is that if you are in the heads of your opponent, they are going to play a little bit differently. Maybe they expect you to challenge where you wouldn't usually challenge, so they start challenging themselves. And once you are in their heads and you've planted that seed, then you have the advantage. And I think that's what Acend have done very well with the body disrespect that they offered earlier. They'll be in Navi's heads right now.
Legend had 2 rockets, but he only decided to use 1 and backed his BR ability. And who could have backed against him? He got 4 perfect shots to connect and get that kill before getting taken down, and his teammate picked up the rockets. But now Jimbo caught over towards Arcade, down to no shields. Stronghold's going to get reset as well, and in comes that Stalker rifle just to clear house. C's getting transferred, as is A, so Acend very much going to keep control of the map here, at least as it stands. Not going to see another rocket launcher for another minute or so as well, so it's going to be all battle rifles and raw gun skill here, and Shady does just that and takes down Kimbo. Slides his way out of there. Lovely, fantastic movement just to slide his way out of danger there, whilst also picking up a kill, Dan.
That was better from Shady as well. Very different to what Snipe Drone did in that situation. Snipe Drone went down into C, tried to capture C, and ended up dying. And Respectful did the same thing as well earlier. Whereas Shady said, look, I'm going to leave C. They're pushing A, so instead I'm just going to rotate round, go through middle, and help the rest of my team. As Snipe Drone tries to dive out for a triple kill, but it's only going to be a double. But Acend recognizing now they can't necessarily be constantly pushing for this triple cap. They do just have to stop Navi from consistently taking A off of them.
And we are seeing A now being converted in control of Acend. Gunfight goes down though. Big in the kill feed. We're seeing 2 Foxy pick up a double kill, and that's going to help them no ends. But unfortunately, they're going to have to contend with a triple cap and need to start transferring some of these strongholds back in their favor. B has come their way. Rockets though in the hand of Jim, but he's fortunately going to have to be forced to fire at the ground to take it down that player, putting the pressure on. Kimbo last man alive here, and A and C, still in control, only needing 10 more seconds. The writing's on the wall here. Navi need to snap to life very quickly, Dan.
Acend are so annoying to play against in strongholds. Navi probably thought, well, it's great, we've got an opening to be here. Acend have just left. In
favor of Acend, opening engagements 3-1. Jimbo's getting naded, but we're seeing Snipe Drone have to back down here, but his teammate is on hand. But look, I'm looking at this, Dan. All the goodies and all the scary stuff, that's in control of Acend.
Yeah, Halloween was a long time ago, but this is looking pretty much terrifying, like it's going to be a trick-or-treat episode at this point. But Foxy's managed to pick up a double to at least give Navi a chance, but look at the way Acend are moving around the map with such confidence. They're looking for kills. They're not waiting for Navi to come to them. Legend was literally running, saying, where are they? Give them to me. I want to take them down.
Sounding a bit like Batman. Where are they? As he charges around the map. Legend gets that kill, though, onto Respectful. That's going to be just enough to open up the map, and he's going to try and control pipes here. He's managed to stake a claim for it, running towards Jim, who's down to no shields. Recognizing that, I like that play from him. He didn't have to use the energy that was left in the sword. He can save that for a rainy day, which he might need to do right now, as he grapples straight towards Respectful and puts a dagger straight through his heart to make that a killing spree. Wonderful stuff from Legend, and nade shot comes down from Kimbo. Can he get a double kill as well? Snipe drone. Why is he deciding his number is up? But he's going to have to sacrifice his life in the end with 2 Foxy, putting him in the grave. 6 kills, or 8 kills to 13 now. 5 kills difference between these teams. Camouflage just about to pop up.
Tiny score. Me no be able to read, cannot confirm. 16-8 is what it says, actually. I finally am able to see what it is. Please, can we make that score bigger one day? Please, I beg, I beg. Now we're going to see Acend in a position where, you know, they've got such a significant lead here that if they do get this camo, this is just going to go from bad to worse for Navi. It's so difficult to get back into a game when all the goodies are in the hands of the other team. And oh my god, are we going to see the Needler come into play? We don't need to, because the melees are going to be there. Acend really ascending at this point and showing what they're made of.
20 kills to 10. And just a reminder, last time these two played a Slayer earlier in the day, it was a steak dinner in favor of Acend, and Jimbo and crew won't want that to be something that is repeated. That much is for damn sure. 22 kills to 10 now. Camouflage just after expiring for Shady. Not having to do anything really with it, but get information. 3 dead though. Go Acend, make that 4, and all of a sudden the map's in full control for Navi. But can they do something with it?
Yeah, it wasn't a Slayer earlier, it was a Massacre. You want to rename the game type if that's going to be what happens over and over again. But Navi looking to try and get their way back into this game. 9 kills the difference, but that can very easily be overturned if just a few passages of play that go your favor. Turn the tide ever so slightly. If you can get 4 down again, and maybe get some of those power weapons that we talk about, the shot rifle, the sword, they can make the difference. The camouflage can, of course, give you the opportunity to break any sort of setup that might occur. It's a game type that can really slow down at times, but neither team allowing that to happen right now.
Still separated by a decent margin of these two teams. Cartel will be quite happy to trade this all the way home. Shock rifle in hands though, Sika. What can he do with it? Met with a little bit of resistance in Jimbo, but shuts him down. Sika does get an early grave too, as 2 Foxy puts him away. Looking over towards the stats. Jimbo's having a little bit of a slow game. 2 and 8 here now. They're not the sort of numbers you can put up to be successful in a Slayer. Certainly not against the likes of Acend. But Jim's going to have to reel it in here. Camouflage, though, in control of 2 Foxy. Has been hit by that nade. Will have to back down just a touch before he makes this push. Energy sword popping up as well. Going to see a combat evolved here from 2 Foxy. Alley-oop straight into his hands, ready to go to work. C plat now is where he's going to try and push through. Information must be coming their way. Mustn't be much time left in this camouflage. Backstab here though onto Shady. Information immediately comes through though. Comms on point for Acend.
And now that's sword given away to a team that's in control by 12 kills. So things have gone from bad to worse once more for Navi. And you were talking about Jimbo, you know, he's 3 and 10. And the difficult thing is when you're having a game like that and you can see statistically you're not matching up to the rest of the team or to the opposition team. Respectful also 5 and 12. You know, he's struggling as well. Your playstyle can sometimes be altered because of that. You are a little bit more passive. You don't want to push out. You're not necessarily going to take the fights. As I say that, Respectful, on the contrary, does exactly the opposite and hits the perfect and will take that fight. And that's what he needed. That's what Navi need to get back into this, because this difference is starting to get too much to get back into a game. They cannot allow just single 1-for-1 trades at this point.
Snipe drone takes that fight on and somehow was able to delay his death so long that Sika was able to come and clean up that damage that he initially put down. When slays like that go against you, Dan, when you seem to have a 1v2 in your favor, and somehow, some way, that player manages to do enough damage that it ends up being a 2v2 split, that's going to be paying a dagger to the hearts of Navi, and only needing 5 more kills now do Acend to close out this game and double their lead.
And even though we do historically see a lot of upsets happen and a lot of comebacks happen in Europe, it's very rarely Acend are on the receiving end of those. They usually know how to close out a game. They're a team who really do kind of stick together as a unit. They will ensure they get those trades to get those kind of 3 or 4 final remaining kills, as they now only need 3, whereas Navi need plenty. I mean, 14 at this point.
Now then, 1 more kill, all that's required. And we don't even need to see take max seeding points and max prize money to go along with it. Rocket Stone now in control of 2 Foxys. He pushes the enemy elbow. What can he do with them? Sika is going to lose his life. No, he's not. Eventually, he does get the job done. but it's only going to be a trade in the end. And Respectful's also got that overshield. He's going to lose his life. Rockets, overshield, in control of Navi. Still no signs of getting the cap.
Right, I'm an objective player, right? And I love running for the flag, but what was Respectful thinking in that position? He said, I'm just going to try and get this flag as far as possible, even though one of my teammates is down and the whole team of Acend is just spawned in the base. That's not the Respectful that I know. The Respectful I know says, I want to kill everyone. So clearly there was some sort of call or there's some sort of decision there that is outside of what is normal. Maybe Navi just want to take the game to Acend here and say, look, if we just keep moving flags, eventually one of them is going to get through to a position where we can make it work.
Navi then trying to apply maximum pressure here. 2 go down on their side though, but Kimbo's going to even up the odds here. 2v2 on the map as Kimbo's on the enemy base. Pulling flag out towards Treehouse. Teammates position over towards bottom middle. Unfortunately, Foxy's going to fall at it. Not the most opportunistic time. Slays go through. Kimbo's going to die once more. 2 flag pulls already early doors here, Dan. Both going the way of Navi, but unfortunately now we're seeing Acend descend on the enemy base, and we could see a flag pull of their own.
Navi just have to be careful here that they don't do exactly what happened to the lads when the lads played Navi on this game type, is that the lads got into a position where they were constantly just pulling flags, and then eventually Navi realized that they were able to suffocate the few players that were remaining on the other side of the base and then get counter caps over and over. So if Acend realize that Navi are sending that one player behind on the flank to try and pull the flag, all they have to do is win that 4 versus 3 in the middle of the map or on the other side of the map, and they can get a pull of their own, and suddenly they're going to start to get caps on the board.
Double kill for Sika. That's going to open up the map too. Foxy though doing as much as he damn well can to stop this flag. It's not going to be enough. It's going to make it at least over the halfway point.
Oh,
Start to juggle
that.
up. I love that little train as it drops just before it hits the ground bottom middle. And Shady's gotten that flag all the way home. Expert movement out of him. He's done that before.
Yeah, I hope he has. I hope it wasn't just lucky, but the way he's dropped that flag, it's bounced off a little ledge and just moved ever so slightly. Certainly in Halo Infinite, with the way the flag mechanics are, the flag just kind of drops, like gravity pulls it to the floor. It doesn't bounce like it used to in previous Halos as much. So being able to find those little margins to speed it up is always going to help you out. I said it earlier when we saw Acend on stream, as more teabagging comes through, is that Acend, they know how to move flags. They know how to play the objective. They've got everything down to a T.
Much like old Grey Mary, flag physics aren't what they used to be, and Sika picks up a huge double kill to open up this early engagement here as Foxy is going to get into a gun engagement of his own. He comes out on top though. That could be big, Dan.
Aren't what they used to be, aren't what they used to... That was just literally playing through my head right then. And I can just imagine like people, like just a whole montage of flags not moving the way they used to be. Great. That made me smile. Right, now we need to see Navi though. They need to be moving flags in a position where actually they've got the rest of the team around them. Because when they've moved the flag so far in this game, it's just been a case of tossing it out and hoping for the best with little strategy, which isn't like Navi. Navi are a team who are usually very structured. They know how to play the game. They know how they want to approach a flag run. Whereas it's been now Acend really applying the pressure onto Navi, getting into that base, getting those slays. And, you know, they deserve to be 1-0 up at the moment, Acend, because they are outslaying Navi ever so slightly.
Pressure being applied, then Sika's going to get another touch on that flag with the overshield. I love this rechal as well. Recognizing that frag grenade is going to just hit the flag, so takes a backward step just enough to evade the blast radius of that frag grenade. Foxy trying to put enough damage down. He is on opposing side of the base, and unfortunately for him, he's going to lose his life to the hands of Shady, and a second flag cap is only moments away. They're going 2-0 up. 2-0 up in the series. Writings on the wall here for Navi.
Yeah, is this the beginning of the end now? 7 minutes remaining, so still plenty of time for Navi, but certainly not good signs. And it has just been a case of Acend having their number on, you know, Navi's side of the map. And, you know, if you add rockets and overshield to that as well, then things go from bad to worse if you are a Navi fan. Grapple is going to be up, but at the moment, Sika is prioritizing map positioning. Because he knows full well if he had gone for that grapple, he could have been vulnerable to a few grenades, but he might be rewarded with a grapple in a moment, and now he can decide what he wants to do with it. You can be aggressive, you can go towards bar, you can use it as a way of getting close and closing that gap onto Respectful, but at the moment he's holding those 3 grapples. He considers them valuable.
And we're vastly approaching now, Dan, that 6-minute mark when we see OS and rockets, and Navi need that now more than ever.
And if they don't get, you know, both of them, then just one of them is going to be enough of a tool, you'd think, for Acend to make it work, because Acend are a team who can take tiny margins and suddenly make them massive ones. I don't know how they do it at times, but they always seem to find a way to utilize just these small victories to turn the game into their favor, and they already have an advantage at this point, so that's just going to be bad things for Navi. 6 seconds remaining, we'll see what happens. Acend is setting up around the overshield right now. Shady's going to be the closest player, and rather than just kind of hovering around truck and leaving himself vulnerable to grenades, he dives up, but as I say that, dives back down. So at least Foxy was in a position where the trades come out. Who's going to come out on top and get the Yovi?
Mastini had that thruster pack. I thought he was leaving the overshield for a teammate, but Jim's just going to scamper over here now, but it's going to be contested by Snipe Drone, and actually two members of Acend. Sizzle Sticks go down. They're not going to do enough to get the kill there, and Kimbo's got overshield. They're starting to make the charge.
Gets the overshield and gets the rockets as well. So now this is the time for Navi. Jimbo is down though, so they only have the 3, but with Jimbo on spawn, Kimbo has to lead the charge here. He needs to get the opener. As soon as this rocket gets 1 kill, Navi have to go. They have to collapse. But on the other side, Acend are pulling a flag to be a bit of bait, a bit of a distraction. Navi, they can't afford to allow it to be too much of a distraction, though. They have to wait. They have to be moving their flag as a team, and one player needs to go back to this flag.
And that man is going to be Jimbo, and he's not going to be able to do enough up against the Frenchman and Shady. But Kimbo's already made great progress with this flag. Already got it all the way back to his treehouse. Shady recognizing that and moving the flag over towards Stewart's area. He's dropped the flag in his treehouse, looks to contest against this player, and Shady, recognizing he's the furthest man that can maybe get the stop here. He's already got it over towards his elbow. And any player that does come around this corner is going to be face to face with a barking bulldog.
Yeah, and Acend, they've not only managed to get this flag this far, but also they've got several kills elsewhere to potentially get a re here. They will get the re. Navi look like they might be able to get a return of their own, though, at the very least, which they will. So for all that effort, at least Acend were able to stop Navi scoring, which really has to be their focus. With a 2-0 lead, as long as they stop Navi scoring, then they will still win this game. Overshield's going to be up again in 18 seconds, but this is starting to get a little bit scrappy now. Navi doing all right to stay within it. I mean, Foxy's got a decent amount of kills on the board. There are certainly players who are struggling a little bit. Jimbo, 9 and 18, Respectful, 9 and 15. Maybe not able to get as many kills as they would have liked, but it doesn't matter if they can start to get some flags on the board. They've certainly got close, just haven't been able to get that final moment, that final flag toss to get it just far enough.
We've seen Overshield get picked up all the meanwhile, and it's going to be in the chest of Sika as he plays a little bit of defense, and that's all they really need to do right now, Dan. 3 minutes, some change left in the clock, Bulldog in the hand. Overshield has just dissipated without doing too much, you must be said, but you've kept out of the enemy's grasp.
Still plenty of time for Navi. They won't be too disheartened because it's only a 2-0 disadvantage they find themselves in at the moment. But as this time dwindles away, panic may start to settle in, and we might see just a few more rushes towards Acend's base and a few more risky flag pulls, but sometimes that's the way you've got to play. 2 kills, though, will give the opening now. Acend down to just 1 player, and if Sika falls, this could be a really good opportunity for Navi to pull one.
Door has been opened, then Sika has fallen. Kimbo's already moving that flag, but we're seeing engagements go down. 2 Foxy with 2 huge kills, and that could open the door now. Just a little bit, just a touch, as Kimbo juggles the flag a little bit awkwardly, but does get it up. But I don't really like this flag route that he's taking. Enough, though. Jimbo's going to get a kill. 2 Foxy elsewhere, gets another one. Snipe Drones in a world of hurt up against Kimbo, who actually gets that flag all the way home. 2-1 to score now with just over 2 minutes. And we could see a little bit of an upset here with another flag on the move.
Navi just on the upward trajectory now at this point. They really want to get these flags moving, and it was an interesting flag route from Kimbo, but he wanted to avoid the grenades, I think, and the shots coming from the rocket area, but maybe he didn't really think about the potential spawns coming from thruster. But it doesn't matter, they got the flag in. With 2 minutes remaining, it's Acend who are moving the next flag, and this could be, the final nail in the coffin. If they're able to go 3-1 up here, Navi might struggle, so they need some big nades to stop.
Big nades haven't come through just yet. We hear one trickling behind them. It's not going to do any damage, though. 3-1 now, Acend. Counter cap. This game has been back and forth. This series hasn't been back and forth. Respectful's got that overshield, but he's ran straight into a frag grenade, and that's going to be a 2v1 split now in terms of slays. Respectful lost in the clouds trying to track this player. Knows he's being shot somewhere. He's shooting ghosts over towards double doors. Nobody home, though. Kimbo got flag on the move for what seems to be the only man pulling flags at this particular moment in time. 3-1 the score, though, with only a minute or so left. looking perilous for Navi.
Yeah, did Navi try and run a second flag too quickly after their initial capture and allow Acend to get that counter cap rather than stabilizing a little bit? It's almost like momentum was on their side and they started to see red a little bit, thinking that was their chance to get back into the game, and they had to move the flag straight away. With now 1 minute and 10 seconds left, it has to be off this next spawn. Navi getting to the other side, pulling that flag and running back-to-back flags to stay alive in this series, stay alive in this grand final. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at yet another Acend victory here in Europe.
Lovely shot from Kimbo then, but he is getting shot in the back here, taken down to no shields. Immediately applying pressure to the enemy spawners. I'm going to spawn over towards Treehouse, it would seem.
Here we go.
As they have relinquished those spawns, it has to be here and now. Not only that, Dan, they have to chain back-to-back caps, but they've lost Respectful. In the meantime, Legend's going to lose his life as well, and Shady's backed up in towards lockers now. You have to go. All the meanwhile, you delay this push. Just gives Acend that little more time, that little opportunity to keep this game in its grasp. But Shady's already gotten a few slays there. And Snipe Drone's got the flag all the way home. Sizzle 6 gonna go down, take Jimbo down to no shield, excuse me. But you can see Jim's wasting no time. Just has to hold on to the flag here, Dan. It's gonna be a GG no re for Acend. They're gonna be your champions of the Pro Series Week 1. Fantastic performance.